I always regularly and constantly have a beautiful testimony, have something to share with you about what God did for me. And that better be the case considering that I've told you multiple times that at this time I have zero income. And it's been that way for a couple of years. And so, the wealth of the wicked being transferred over to the righteous is definitely pending right now. It is in motion. Um, when the enemy steals from us in Proverbs 6:31, he says that when the enemy is caught, he has to return, he has to restore to you sevenfold, though it cost him all the wealth in his house. And if we go back and look at the Israelites before they left Egypt, they were told to ask for items of silver and gold, like cups and whatever stuff like that, from their Egyptian neighbors, and the neighbors poured it over to them, right? So then the Israelites leave, and they don't give back the things that they asked to borrow. Okay, but that's not stealing. So some people would look at that and either avoid it or be really bothered and disgruntled because they were instructed to steal, but no, that's not the case. The case is the enemy has to return to you and what has been stolen sevenfold, though it cost him all the wealth in his house. And so the Israelites had been working for Pharaoh as slaves for 400 years. And I don't think slaves get paid. Okay, so this is back pay. The devil owed them. And apparently they got a whole lot because, and I haven't read it recently, but in my memory banks, whenever Moses went to the mountain to go be with God for those 40 days, and the people were like, listen, Moses is dead. They took off an earring. I think they all gave one earring or two. It was something very small like that. Everybody gave an earring or something, and they made golden calves out of just an earring from each person, right? So they got a lot of stuff, and that was back pay for stealing from God's people. Okay, so my testimony. Yesterday, it was so perfect. It wasn't cold, it wasn't hot, and so I opened all the windows in my apartment, and I told my son at the beginning, in the morning time, this day, it was also the time change. I was like, this day is for cleaning. Okay, so I don't have work for you right now, but when I have work for you, then I'll call you. And he's like, okay. So I was moving things around in the living room and here in my room, and I'm like, I've been saying to my mom in my head, I need a crochet station because at this point it's getting real. I'm considering, making a business out of it and among other things, right? So I was like, but God, I need it to be nice and neat because I can't really keep up with everything. I have unfinished projects. I have projects, I have all kinds of yarn. I have just stuff. And so I want it to be pretty. I want it to look like a workspace, which is also something new for me, wanting stuff all around me to be pretty and all that because, like I've said before, I was very much a tomboy growing up. And so as I'm thinking this stuff, in my head, I just sat down yesterday because I didn't know how to move forward at that point. And I sat down and I thought, okay, so before I called, I didn't even call him yet. He answered. So my neighbor who kept interrupting me all day, she came over with a dessert because we hadn't seen each other in a couple weeks. And so she came over with a dessert and we sat outside because, again, it was a beautiful day. So as I'm thinking about how am I going to arrange my crochet stuff in my room, which mattered because I can't really fix up my room until I know where I'm going to put the things. And I want it to still be spacious. I don't want it to be all cluttered. So as I'm thinking about this, there's a knock on the door. And my son comes back here running, Mom, it's Miss your neighbor, And I'm like, oh, okay. So I go again to see what's up. And she's like, hey, my cuñada called me. My sister-in-law called me. And she's like, that somebody put out these shelves out there by the curb, and I don't need them, but they're very nice. They just need a little cleaning up. And I was wondering if you need them. And so then my neighbor's like, I don't need them. I already have a lot of stuff, but let me check if Ricky wants them. So, hey, Ricky, there's these things out there by the curb. And I said, nah. I really wasn't interested, but she was taking the trash. So she invited me to go with her. So I did. And I couldn't believe that my first reaction was, oh my God, they're perfect. They're perfect. And they're free. To me, everything is free. That's what I'm telling you. God provides everything. And I didn't even get to call. So I don't ask him for, stupid stuff like, I don't ask him for money. I'm saying if you allowed me to be in this position, then I know that you're going to bring ravens to feed me if that's what it takes. I know that you're going to provide, or I'll be the widow for Elijah to come, chill in my house. And I'm not going to run out. And I have not run out. And like I said, the wealth of the wicked is about to be mine, honey. Okay. Boy. And I keep thinking I'm excited because I'm like, this is so funny. Because Satan is going to pay for my ministry. Well, the Lord's ministry, but the stuff that I like, stamps, like I told you before, I send out letters, prayers, and things like that to people. And when I make stuff, let me show you my newest. Here's a set. Like these sunflower, or I guess these are just flowers, but flower coasters. Aren't they adorable? I'm like, you know what? The circles, they're not good enough anymore. They're cute and all, but like these are way better. So having said all that, I want to show you my new workstation. Oh, but yeah, so my stamps, when I get money, you swear I'm going to go buy all the things I used to buy? Absolutely not, because in being poor, another thing that is so beautiful about it is I have learned to be resourceful. Like, we could be down to beans and rice, but baby, that's about to be the best beans, rice, tamales that you ever had, the best fried chicken and mashed potatoes and beans and cornbread you ever had, okay? Like, the Holy Spirit will teach you all things, including how to flourish and thrive. So this is how you can be content with little. And then when you do get much, when he gives you the much, you will be able to appreciate it and use it in the way that he intended. So when I get all this that's coming to me, that has been held back from me for the last 5 years, I know how to use it, and that is to glorify the name of God. That is to continue doing those things that, like we learned in 1 Timothy chapter 4. He's given me these gifts to steward and to practice. And as I have been doing those things and doing it for free, that means I really love it. That means it was, and people enjoy. When you love doing something, people love what you do. When I love giving fades, people love getting fades from me. Okay, when I love to cook, I have gone out with a real chef, like a personal chef. She her and then a couple other people. We went out and I cooked this Mexican, it was like a mix of Mexican rice and also chicken fried rice, because it had all the vegetables and stuff, because I wanted them to have their protein, right? So mine is just rice with vegetables and chicken and eggs, like scrambled eggs. And then the personal chef, she's over here, she made, fancy dishes. And, the other people made, I don't know, like breakfast tacos or something like that. And nobody knew who made what as far as the homeless people were concerned. But many of them, they were like, hey, this rice is good. This rice, they were all over the rice. And the reason why is because I asked the Lord to season it the way that I was like, Lord, before this even leaves the house, before this even gets to the people, Lord, season it, let it taste like love, because through me, you're making it and you know who's going to get what. Okay, so mine comes seasoned with salt. The salt of the Lord Jesus, okay? And so, not that the other people's wasn't good. I'm just telling you the feedback that I got. They didn't know that I made the rice, but they were, man, this rice is fire. And I was like, oh my God, right? Okay. Okay, Finally, without further ado, this is my new crochet station. They are two, one, two, and of course there's a shelf here, and they were free on the curb, and they have these pretty glass right here, glass, and it's neat and it's pretty, and like all I had to do was clean it up. That's it. And it wasn't even bad. I just had to like wipe it down. And they were gonna throw it away, but I don't know who left it there, but like God bless them. He answered my prayer before I could answer, and they didn't put him out on the curb until the day that I was cleaning. Until the day that I was finally ready to make action, like at least clean a space for a station. And so when you are abiding in the Lord, when you are learning and constantly doing those things that He is putting on your heart to do, He will provide. Seek first the kingdom, and the king, and everything else is going to come to you because you're going to use it for the kingdom. So in the past, perhaps I wouldn't have been, not perhaps, I was not ready for the wealth of the wicked. The wicked, isn't this sad? The wicked would have stewarded the wealth better than I would have. So it remained in their hands. But now the Lord has prepared me. He has trained me. I was frugal before, but now I'm frugal, resourceful, and like competent in the ways of why I'm spending. For whom am I spending? In everything that you do, you should honor the Lord, whether it's in your eating, whether it's in your drinking. Okay. So that is my testimony, my shared. I will continue sharing with you those things that He does for me, because isn't that cool? How do you just like, those are very nice wooden things on zero income, but you wouldn't know it.